Alright guys, well it's Wednesday, so just realized I got another show this weekend. I told a friend that I was going to go with him to it. I wanted to go to it. Sounds great. It's an air show, car show. Sounds like a lot of fun. So once again, we're going to take the truck because the car's not ready. But from the last show, I do have a small list of things I want to take care of on it. Just little things that I didn't like, okay? So the clutch needs to be adjusted. Where the airbag controls are ran, because we had some issues, some fuses and whatnot. I think something's rubbing, so I want to move that. So that's what we're going to work on today. Hopefully, I guess first, let's get this thing up in the air and try to adjust this clutch first. All right. Alright guys, the clutch on this 64 is real simple. Okay, it's all mechanical. You press the pedal pulls a rod, the other piece pivots and pushes against the actual clutch lever on the tranny, okay? So to shim this, because what's going on is it's not long enough, because my clutch is only catching, I can only get it disengaged if I got it on the floor all the way, which makes it really rough to drive. So this one's pretty simple. I just add washers, put it back in, and I get more throw out of it. Because this side's already been turned all the way out. So yeah, we can't go too crazy because this could jump out, but I keep a spring on it too. So we're just gonna add a few washers of this, put it back in. Alright, so what I'm working on now is the bags, the wiring for my controller, okay? I don't know if you can see, but this is my old wiring, and it's just a bunch of bullet connectors. Okay, that's how the kit came. You know, I had a stint somewhere, but they're all bullets. And having a couple of issues. I think they're wiggling loose or getting loose or whatnot. So what I'm looking at doing is I went down and got a terminal block. Okay, so I'm gonna screw this to the front of the bed under here, put ring terminals on, and where I can access it, so that way everything's good. Now the other issue is I ran the control through the middle of the truck, and you saw in the video of the show, 4 deep, I couldn't even get to my controls. So I want to route it down the driver's side, so no matter who's in the truck, I can get to my controls and control the truck. So now I've got to get under there and start cutting zip ties, because I like zip ties and I put a lot on. So I gotta wedge my fat ass under there with a pair of cutters and start cutting all the zip ties off. So, alright, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright guys, well I got the controller out and I ended up cutting these female butt connectors off of most of them to get them out. So what I'm gonna do now is put ring terminals on, okay? But the issue is, this wire is so thin that they use. I don't trust it just to be crimped. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna slide it through, and I'm gonna solder just the end of it, and then I'll crimp it. That way, there's no way it's coming loose. These thinner wires, they get kicked, jerked, whatever. Yeah, it can come apart real quick. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, is sit here and solder all these on, and then we'll start installing it in the truck. Alright guys, so I didn't video that because you would have seen nothing but my butt. So anyway, it was tight in there, so I cleaned up all the wiring here. I put in a new pressure switch. The reason I couldn't lift all the truck in one cycle before was I wasn't hitting enough PSI. So I put a 150 on and 180 off, and before it was only coming to 100 pounds. So now that's my new wiring, and so that bundle of deals, and it's all labeled so I can get to it. It's not seen, it's behind the seat. And then now I have my controls mounted on my dash. It was a wiring nightmare because this is actually upside down. This cord is made to flip up the seat, and that's up. So I mounted it here, but now I can control the truck, and it pops now. So up and down, it's good. All right, on to the next problem. The next problem is I went out for a ride the other night and I noticed that I'm only turning 11.5 volts. Got to looking at it. Turns out the alternator belt, it's a single belt system, but the belt's not tight enough on the alternator. Okay, so this is a makeshift deal that's on here. It's been here since I bought it. I've refined it a little, but I need to take it another step. I'll show you. Okay, so this alternator here, the whole problem is this power steering pump is not for this motor. So they've got this random bracketry on here that works, and then the alternator where it mounts, I had to make another bracket to there. So the tensioner, you know, the adjuster is pretty much right here. Well, I had to make this piece here. Now the problem is the only way to tighten it is to shove a crowbar in here and pry it over to get it tight. Now the belt seems tight, but I can actually spin this alternator without it dragging the belt, so we got to get it tighter. So what I'm looking at is making a adjustable tensioner here, so I can get more pressure on the alternator and then tighten it down. Hopefully it'll stay. If not, then I'm going to have to get a little bit longer belt so that this angle point here between here and here is out a little more to get a little more pressure on it. So what I'm going to try to do is make that tensioner first and see if that works. So I'm going to make that just out of a 3/8 bolt and a couple nuts, and we're going to make it so that you can turn this, unscrew it, and it'll push the alternator away. So we're going to have to weld, so of course ground's off, and we got to clean everything up and start making it. All right. Alright guys, so this is what I made. I got this little bracket here that I'm weld on, and what I did with the drill is I just kind of made a indenture in it, okay, with the drill bit, just a little bit in. Then on the actual bolt, I gave it a point. That way, when it presses, it'll just spin right in there, and it'll keep that bolt from kicking out this way or that way. It's just going to ride right in there. So this will get mounted to the stationary, this will go on, this will get mounted to the alternator bracket, so that when it tightens up, when we screw it in, it's going to pull that alternator away from it. Okay, so that's what we're working on. Fun part now is getting in here to weld it without disassembling everything. Alright, well, it took a few adjustments and cutting down and everything else, the bracket, but I finally got it. That belt's tight. So I'll try to get you a shot of what it looks like so you can see. Alright guys, well, I'm going to stop this update right here. There's more to get done on the truck, but I'm going to have to try to get it done in the mornings and at night between now and Saturday. So anyway, I'll try to get video of that and let you know what's going on. And I'll definitely take some shots at the show. So, alright guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe. The button should be right here to subscribe, and then one over here in order to take and see my other videos. So alright guys, have a great day, and see you on the next one.